By the end of this episode, you will be empowered to do way more than just survive your anxiety or try to cope with it, okay? Profoundly, fundamentally change the way you think about and approach anxiety. Now, the interesting thing about anxiety is that I am considered one of the world's leading experts on anxiety. And I'm what you call a life-tested expert because my expertise has been earned the hard way, the painful way. And that is by living through and struggling with anxiety for almost 45 years. The truth is, when I really think about my past, I don't ever remember a time when I wasn't nervous or feeling on edge or anxious or somewhere other than the room that I was currently standing in. I think if you can come out of the womb as a baby having a panic attack, that was Mel Robbins. And that panic that I think, hardwired with in my nervous system, it only grew as I got older. So the first thing that I would love to ask you is, when a patient comes to you, how do you describe what anxiety is?
Well, usually they come to me with anxiety already. So, I'll go into, what are you feeling? What's going on? What happens to you? And usually, almost universally, they'll describe a thinking process. My husband's driving me nuts. I can't drive. I can't go past this. I can't go into grocery stores. I can't go on the bus. And usually what I'll say is, that's all in your head. Like, that's all the story that your left hemisphere, your analytical left hemisphere is making up. Now, what do you feel in your body, in your physiology, when you say you feel anxiety? And the first thing I can get people to do is say, I'm going to change the word anxiety to alarm, because words have consciousness to them. Anxiety doesn't have a lot of consciousness to it. A lot of people don't even understand what anxiety is.
Well, I agree. And I
Alarm.
feel like it's thrown around all the time.
Yeah.
And we think that anxiety is like a nervous stomach and a lot of worry in your head about what's going to happen. And I love that you're saying that we want to start talking about the alarm that goes off in your body.
It takes energy away from those ruminating thoughts, and it puts it where it belongs, because maybe that alarm is your younger self that's asking for your attention. And as a medical doctor and neuroscientist, I kind of want to have a seizure sometimes when I talk about the ethereal nature of this. But really, from a practical sense, when you're anxious, find the alarm in your body.
Okay,
Because
so how do you do that? So let's just take a scenario right now. Let's just say, and it could be anything.
Sure.
It could be that you are sitting in the pickup line at school and you see somebody that you have beef with, and you start to feel like this wave hit you.
Sure.
Because you don't want to talk to that person, or that person makes you nervous.
Right.
Situation we can all relate to.
Totally.
In that moment, sitting in the front seat of your car, and you feel the alarm go off, how do you locate the damn thing? Because it's everywhere at this point.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's everywhere. I mean, it feels like it's everywhere, I think. And as I was saying earlier, we're so used to communicating with ourselves in words, we don't really think to look at the alarm in our body, right? So what I would say is, as you look at this person that kind of triggers you a little bit, feel your butt in the car seat, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. If you're not driving, like, close your eyes for a second, just take a breath in and like a nice slow breath out, and go, where in my physiology do I sense this? Imagine this person. It's like, okay, well, I feel this sort of, kind of ache in my upper chest, and it's, maybe it's the size of an apple or whatever, and it feels like it's a pressure. It feels like it's radiating up to my neck. That's your alarm. So put your hand over your alarm, like in the high five habit. High five your heart. High five that part of your alarm, because, or jumping right into it, I believe that is your younger self asking for your attention. And typically what we do is we push it away. We go into our heads, right? So
Right.
Go into your body, feel it. See if you can put your hand over that area.
But what if I don't want to? What if I'm literally like, I don't like this feeling? So,
Yep.
I'm sitting here listening to you, and
Yep.
I really love your work, because you are trying to get us all to go to the source of what's triggering mental health issues, which is stored experiences
Yeah.
and the alarm in your body and your inability to tolerate or understand what's happening when it goes off. And so I have recently had this experience where I'm waking up and I get these waves of anxiety. And what's interesting is that this is not new for me. I mean, I've struggled with anxiety for 30 years, but we have just recently had a number of huge changes in our life. And I now live in a different state in a very small town. And when I wake up in the morning in the middle of all this change, my alarm is not on the nightstand next to me. It begins in my ankles, and it's like a hot lava wave that goes from my ankles, up my legs, all the way up my stomach, and then it solidifies in my chest. And as soon as I feel this wave, my immediate thought is not, oh, I want to feel the alarm. It's, fuck, why am I feeling this? I don't want to feel dread. And then I feel like I just want to hide from it or like try to fall asleep. And I know that it's just my body reacting to all this change. Like it's some sort of stored experience that is coming up. And I've been working so hard on not freaking out when I feel it,
Right.
but turning toward it. And as a medical doctor and a neuroscientist and somebody who has struggled with anxiety for 30 years, why is turning toward this alarm the answer in that moment? Like, tell me what happens when you turn toward it and you put your hands on your chest, or you go, oh, thank you. You're just trying to protect me because you're scared to death that you now live in Vermont and you have no friends and you're very far away from your kids and you're going to live alone here on this mountain and be even more lonely. Like I get through this whole like catastrophizing, which only make it worse, versus welcome this bullshit in. Like, I don't want to. Like, I just don't want it to be there. And when you said, what if the alarm is trying to help you?
Yeah.
What the hell did you mean by that?
What if it's little Mel? You know, what if it's the younger version of you saying, hey, I need some attention. And then when you say, you know, fuck off, I don't want to feel you. Literally. What if you had a child come up to you in a grocery store and they were crying and they had their hands up in the air to pick them up? Would you push them away? Would you go, see ya, fuck off? You know, no, you wouldn't. You'd pick that damn child up. But we won't do it for ourselves.
God, that's so true.
Yeah, we won't do it for ourselves. We'll do it for our pets. Yeah,
you're right. You're absolutely right. Like if somebody else had an alarm going off in their body.
Yep.
And they were like freaking out or worried or sad or upset or needing attention or reassurance, you would give that to them. But without hesitation. I'm sure with Sawyer and Oakley, you do that all the time. All the time.
Yeah, but you don't do it for yourself.
No, and I think that this is the singular biggest like mistake that society has made around understanding anxiety.